Hey guys, it's Yvette. I just wanted to jump on here and do a quick first impression on beauty tools that are used to help put foundation on. Normally I am used to using a brush to put on my foundation, but today I thought I would try two items that are new to me and I have not used before. So if you do want to see my thoughts and how I like them, then just keep watching. So as I mentioned in the introduction, I am going to be putting on my foundation with two different beauty tools that are new to me. The first tool I am talking about is the silicone sponge. In one of my hauls, I did talk about how I was going to use this in order to test out and see how I like it. And the other tool is going to come as a surprise, and it's actually the beauty blender. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm such a big makeup enthusiast, and this is my first time using a beauty blender. Yes, it definitely is using a beauty blender. I've just seen so many videos on like the fact that you have to take care of them so well, and I've always been hesitant. I'm not very good at my brushes, and I certainly don't want to mess up a sponge that is $20. Now, I did not pay $20 for this beauty blender. This beauty blender came in a kit of some sorts. I don't remember. I would not buy a beauty blender $20 full price, but I made my mind after today, so we'll see. We're gonna go do this. So I have started out with a clean face for the most part. I mean, I did my eyes just to kind of get that out of the way. I do plan on wearing my makeup out today, so I want to go ahead and see how it goes. I'm going to do my normal foundation routine, so apply the setting spray, the primer spray, put my foundation primer on, everything like that. It'll all be the same. I'm going to use the same foundation, everything. Just the difference is going to be the method of application. So again, doing it like normal, I'm using my Smashbox primer water you already know. I'm going to spray that all over my face, and hopefully this does not ruin my eye makeup. That's my one concern. I usually do my eye makeup last, but today, switching things around, decided I should come on the camera at least with some of the face on. And with my Benefit Professional, I'm doing it just like I normally would.
I put on the rest of my face makeup, like the powder and everything. I'm going to go ahead and finish it out, put on my brows, do everything else. But I just wanted to make sure at least the eyes were done.
A little nervous, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna go in with my my L'Oreal True Match foundation in the shade Buff Beige. There you go. So I'm gonna pour it on the back of my hand, and we're just gonna go for it. One half, I am gonna do my foundation with the beauty blender, and the other side with the silicone sponge. We'll start with the silicone sponge, and I'm thinking of using it on this side of my face. So just dabbing it on here. And people say the one good thing about using this silicone sponge is that it doesn't really absorb product. So, I mean, with the fact that it doesn't have any pores, I can definitely see why that would be the case. Oh, again, half my face. And putting it in, it doesn't feel bad. It feels kind of interesting. Like it just, I don't know how to describe it. It definitely feels different than a brush. Kind of feels like I'm putting something somewhat hard. It feels different. It feels like I'm punching myself, honestly, but it is what it is. And actually, I feel like, I didn't put that much foundation on my hand to begin with, but I feel like I just used up all the foundation I had for this one side of my face. So I'm trying to kind of carve it out as best as possible. I don't have the best lighting in this room, so it's kind of hard for me to tell really how it looks, but I think you can kind of see the difference between one side and the other. One side has foundation and the other clearly does not. So again, I'm like kind of carving it out. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend it down my neck as well. But so far, not bad. I feel like my eyelids look kind of weird though because of the fact that I put on foundation. I don't know. But not bad. Did a pretty good job coverage wise. It's nice. And now we're going to see how the beauty blender works. So I did already soak my beauty blender just for comparison's sake. Actually, I do have two beauty blenders. So yes, I've had two beauty blenders for like a year and I have not touched them because I've been so afraid. I didn't think it was going to puff up when I put the water in it, but it definitely did. I put it under water and let it soak it up and then squeezed it out a couple times. But again, this is a different. Initially, my thoughts are that this one does feel a lot denser. This one feels more airy and spongy, obviously, because it is more stretched out and expanded. Anyways, So I guess I will pour out more foundation on the back of my hand because I used up all the other foundation. Woo! Got carried away. But anyway. So bouncing the butt of the Beauty Blender in my face. And we'll just see what's the hype about. I mean, everybody loves the Beauty Blender, and I guess I will see what the hype is about. We'll see if it really is all it's cracked out to be. So, as far as the difference in feeling, it still feels like I'm kind of like little punches to myself, but this one feels a little bit more gentle. I don't know if that's makes sense, but it feels a little more gentle in terms of like, I guess the intensity of the punches. The other one, it felt a little harder probably because it's more, in a way, dense. There's not the pores in the sponge. It's just kind of like one solid liquid. It's a little harder to get in here though. I'll tell you that. But the good thing is that the Beauty Blender does have this little nook, this little pointy spot. So if you did want to get in there, wow, just like, whoosh, look at that. Anyway, so, I mean, compared to a brush, I'm not sure like I'm like super duper in love with. Next thing you know, you're gonna see me putting this on in all the videos. I don't know. I mean, nothing extraordinary. I mean, I like my brush just as much, honestly. In terms of application, though, I feel like it's good. I mean, it's just weird. Maybe I put on too much water. Who knows? I'm gonna try doing both. It just feels different. But, I mean, I like the way it looks. So now I'm going to go ahead and put on concealer and see how that works. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer that I always use. It's in the shade Medium. I'm going to go ahead and just put a couple lines. I'm not even going to like use the sponge on here to blend it out, just because I want to see how well each of the sponges does in terms of blending out. So we'll start with the Beauty Blender this time in terms of it, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of use the little tip end to push that concealer in. So the little tip is definitely helpful in terms of getting in that little nook right here. But I don't know, maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. I don't see the big hype. I think it's good, but I don't see the big hype. I don't see like the revolutionary power of a Beauty Blender. Now with the silicone sponge, I'm going ahead and patting that in, and also I feel like the shape of this really does make it easier, like, or not that it does make it easier, but it's easier to get in there. With the Beauty Blender, I definitely had to be more careful. I feel like it's kind of weird, but that's what it feels like. Probably because of like the volume of this. This is just pretty thin, you know. This is like a big old fat egg any way you turn it. So I don't know. I like it. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my face. Powder, put on lipstick, put on blush, everything. So I'll be right back. Now that my face is done, I feel like I can share a little bit of thoughts with you about these products. So I actually like them both. I think they're both really good, but they're both pretty different in terms of why I like them, what I find to be pros and cons of each. Will I go and ditch my brush forever and just start doing this from day to day? No, I don't think so. I think I still will go to my brush. It's just what's more comfortable to me, what I know more. However, I definitely see myself incorporating each of these tools to my tutorials just to kind of give a different scope and a different view, and also just to get familiar myself with the products. So, do I like one over the other? I think it's too soon for me to say that. However, again, like I mentioned, there's differences between both. As far as the silisponge, the silicone sponge, I think it's really good for putting on a foundation in terms of just the fact that it blends it out pretty easily. I mean, I feel like is good because it doesn't soak up product. Now, if you can see that, it definitely shows mess, but it doesn't soak up product. So I really think this is going to be really good in terms of saving product and just putting it on. I think it does an awesome job. I like that it gets just as well into the little creases and crevices. I think it's great in terms of that. I do, however, wish it was more airy. Of course, it can't be with this sort of substance, But that is one thing I like the Beauty Blender more for, was like more airy, more, when with pouncing myself was more gentle. This is a little bit harder. But I really, really like this. I think it's good, and I would totally use it again, and I would probably repurchase this because it's so affordable. I bought this for like $3. So actually this is another really big point. This is by far more affordable than a Beauty Blender. A Beauty Blender will run you about $20 if you decide to buy it without like buying a kit or anything like that. $20 is a very steep investment, and it's just hard for me to commit to something like that, especially if I fall in love with it. Like, it's just going to be scary. Also, in terms of the two, I think this one will be a lot easier to clean, a lot easier to keep track of, and I think it might be more durable. I feel like with this sponge, going back and forth, rinsing it, wringing it, I've seen girls that have gotten it to last for like a year, but I just don't know how long to keep this. I don't know how long it will be good for, so I'm a little, hesitant to have finally used it, but I figure if it's in my collection, why not use it? Not knocking on the Beauty Blender, though. I definitely think this is a really, really good tool. Definitely because mine is black, the dirt will show a little easier, so I don't like it for that reason, but once I washed it out, I'm pretty sure the stains will come out, so that'll be good. I like the fact that it does puff up, that it goes from being this dense tool to a little bit more of a puffy tool. Like, I love the way it feels when you're like putting it in. It feels nice. I like that feeling. I like that it has that little sharp end so you can get in there a little bit better. I still think it is a little hard to get in there even with this little skinny tip, but I think it's really good. I mean, as far as repurchasing it, I think that's where it's going to hurt. This is where like bundle kits are going to come in handy. I just don't know. It's hard for me to say because this is such an expensive tool, so it makes it really, really hard. For now, I'm going to be happy just using them and enjoying them while I have them. I actually have 2 of each, so I do have this other Beauty Blender, and my sister actually gave me this silicone sponge she got in an order. She doesn't really see herself using it, so I figured, hey, why not use it? And I just love this little heart shape. Like, it's super cute. Now, I don't know how this will affect the applying, the application. I feel like this shape might make it harder, and in comparison, this feels a lot harder. So, you gotta be careful which brand you buy it from. This silicone feels softer than this silicone. This silicone's a lot harder. So I feel like even then it'll be a little, like it's hurting me more to pounce this one in than it is this one. So it's interesting. I mean, I'm definitely going to try each of the tools out for longer and see what I feel. But so far, first impressions, I think they're really awesome tools. So I do hope that helped. I do hope that gave you some indication of how I feel. I hope this was a good video to watch, that it gave you like some ideas of the differences between the two. And if you're deciding between the two, I hope it gave you some direction about where you want to go. It really just all depends on what you're looking at and what's more comfortable to you, what's more accessible. The Beauty Blender is far easier to find versus silicone sponge. If affordability is the issue, the silicone sponge may be more affordable. It's just up to you what you like and what you prefer. If nothing else, girls, there are brushes and there are hands. They are free, okay? Your hands are free. I did my makeup the other day with my hands and it came out just fine. So at the end of the day, just beauty tools. It's just makeup. It's just whatever you like. So again, I do hope this was something that you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.